The best variety of hard rock and metal only on Saturday Night Rocks. It is Eddie Trunk, and, speaking of theatrical bands like Manson and Alice Cooper, here's a guy who knows something about theatrics and has spit some blood from time to time and set some stuff on fire. It's our good buddy Blackie Lawless. How are you, Blackie?
I'm terrific, thanks.
Thanks for calling in tonight.
My pleasure.
You're kicking back at home in L.A. these days?
Well, the new record just came out, and I just got back from Europe doing a promotional tour over there a couple of weeks ago. So I've been out beating my little drum and peddling my wares and telling people what I'm doing.
Well, it's great to have another new Wasp album. Unholy Terror is the name of it. It's in the stores. Just hit the stores. We've been playing some tracks from it on the show. And it's just a great-sounding record, as always. And the thing about it, I was reading the liner notes, which are pretty extensive, and you talk in there about some of the influences for this record and how it had a lot to do with your religious upbringing. So for the people that don't have the record yet, give them a little idea. Would you call this a concept record, or how would you...
No, it's not a concept record. It's just, it's a group of little vignettes, and like, a lot of people don't really, even though they may have followed our career for a while, they don't really understand the upbringing that I had. And I came from a very, very religious situation. I mean, I was raised fundamentalist Baptist. And if anybody has any idea what that's like, it's calling it strict is like calling King Kong a monkey. It's out there. But, what I went through, was extreme by comparison. But there's a lot of other people out there that are going through similar situations. And the whole idea of the record is I went through a lot of indoctrination, and I was taught how to think. And it's only been probably maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, believe it or not, where I was comfortable enough to even begin to talk about some of these subjects. I mean, to get into detail, it's quite lengthy, and I don't know if we have time to do that or not. I mean, I can if you can, but it's like I said, I mean, some of these subjects get kind of hairy.
Yeah.
And it really does, it's all about, a lot of it is about mind manipulation.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine that's something that's kind of slowly but surely come out in your music and your show and then culminated with the new CD?
Absolutely. When you look at you mentioned Alice Cooper a while ago, there's a lot of people that, that do the kind of stuff that we do that have this in common. It's almost like the girls that go to Catholic school, they're the nastiest girls in town, once they finally get out, because all the oppression and suppression that they've been through. It's like, hey, I was in the church till I was 18. I went because I wanted to go. Nobody made me go.
Right.
I was there, and I was going along with the program till I got to be about 18, and I started asking some questions that I couldn't get answers to, and I got really discouraged and bewildered, and I thought, well, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to try something else. And when I left, I went and studied the occult for 3 years. I went from one extreme to another, and at the end of 3 years, I realized I had just swapped one organized religion for another organized religion, and I thought, well, this isn't working either. And so I went around for a lot of years just bumping into walls, confused, paranoid, couldn't figure out why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And then it hit me, that I wasn't thinking for myself. Believe it or not, I've got a very, very good knowledge of the Bible, but I don't ever remember reading anywhere in the Bible where it says that, I should go make war on other people, or there's some guy down in Rome tells me I can't eat meat on Friday, or that I should go bomb an abortion clinic somewhere. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about that. But what happens is when you fall into the indoctrination, this institutionalized thinking that organized religions will do to people, that's what I'm talking about. And I would also say at the same time, I'm not here to attack anybody's individual faith. This has nothing to do with that. There's a huge difference between individual faith and organized religion. But it's not just religions that do it either. Governments are famous for doing this to their people, because what you see on the news at 6 o'clock at night is usually only what your government wants you to see. So the whole idea of this record is think for yourself, find your own answers. Don't let happen to you what happened to me, and I guarantee you're going to be a lot better off.
We're talking live with Blackie Lawless of Wasp. You know, Blackie, talking about religion and the influence it had on this new CD, I got to ask you, I just watched something actually this morning on tape. Did you happen to see the HBO series, the thing that comes on after The Sopranos? I forget what they call it.
Yeah, it was on about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
The thing about the faith healers?
Yeah, it was. I saw that, but there was also one on a couple of weeks ago about the people that were organizing to bomb abortion clinics.
All right, I didn't see that one, but they had one about faith healers last Sunday.
Well, yeah, but it's all part and parcel to the same thing, because the whole idea is about people not thinking for themselves. It's accepting prepackaged ideas, and that's where you get into trouble with all this, and it's, again, it's not about attacking individual faith. It's, get off your butt, if you want to worship something, at least take the time to find out what it is you're worshiping.
Right. The new CD you have, tell us about some of the people that play on it and what the band lineup is for this record, and, I know you got a couple drummers on here, too.
Well, it's the same lineup that we've had since 95. That did the KFD and record and El Dorado and what have you. But Frankie Benelli came back and played a couple of drum tracks on this because our regular drummer, Stet Hallen, had developed tendonitis in his right shoulder while we were in the middle of doing the tracks. And so we really couldn't stop. And so Frankie, having the familiarity, not just from, the band's point of view, but from the public's point of view as well, we felt would be, the obvious choice. And Frankie was good enough to come in and help us out, so that worked out well. But there's also another guitar player that came in and played a couple of solos on the record, which is a guy named Roy Z, who lives not far from me. And some people may or may not know who Roy is, but he's a guitarist extraordinaire. He's produced the last couple of Rob Halford records.
Right.
And he's just, I've known him for a long time. He's part of the same family that is my management and things like that. So
right, he said a lot of stuff with Bruce Dickinson too, and the whole Sanctuary group. Yeah,
that's right. And like I said, he's not far from me, or lives not far from me, and we always wanted to do something together. And we also felt that we're at a point in our careers where it's okay to bring some people in from time to time and do some stuff like that.
Cool. Well, the new CD is out in the stores now. It's called Unholy Terror. And if you can hold on, we'll play a track and we'll come back because I know people want to know about your touring plans and all that sort of stuff. So let's do a track from it. Why don't you pick one, Blackie?
Well, you said you'd been playing
Let It Roar.
The lead track, Let It Roar.
Yeah.
You want to play that or you want to play something else?
I'll tell you what, we'll do that, and then we'll come back, and when we wrap things up, we'll have you pick another one from the record.
Cool.
All right, anything you want to tell us about this one besides it's the opener on the CD?
Well, it was something that was inspired by Chris. It's an idea we've had for a long time. We were just looking for the appropriate music to, that really fit it. Something that people will probably find interesting in this is that when the solo comes up in the middle, we got into a lot of different layering effects with this record, and to create the dimension and the depth that we wanted on this track, we started overdubbing guitars for the solo. There's 21 guitars that go into this solo to create this effect.
Wow. All right, check it out. This is brand new Wasp, Unholy Terror, the name of the CD. It's in the stores now. We're talking live with Blackie Lawless on Saturday Night Rocks, 102.7 WNEW. Back with more with Blackie after we do this one, Let It Roar. Saturday Night Rocks, 102.7 WNEW. That is brand new music from Wasp, Unholy Terror, the new CD. Just hitting the record stores, the opening cut, Let It Roar. And Blackie Lawless of Wasp is joining us live on the phone line from his home. And Blackie, I'm really glad to see you getting into the rapping and the loops and all that stuff on that record. It's really,
that, huh?
Yeah, man. You really, you got the backwards baseball hat going and the shorts.
That's
and all
right. That's right. It's what I live for.
It's good to hear you doing what you do best, man. It sounds great. And
thank you.
And what's the plans? Everybody wants to know what the plans are with touring because
we're going over to do some of the festivals in Europe. We start at the beginning of June, and then we're going to come back over here later in the summer and start.
So you're going to go out on your own, or are you packaging up with someone here?
No, we're still talking about that right now. I mean, there's some things in the fire that if it happens will be very cool. So, but I won't know more about that for the next couple of weeks yet.
Any video stuff going on? Any other promotional stuff with this record that you can tell us about? It
depends on, we're going to film stuff once we're over doing the festivals over there, so we'll see how that turns out.
Okay, and I got We usually don't put people on the air with the callers when we do it on the phone, obviously when you come in live, but I notice on our screen here that Steve from Rockland wanted to know what was going on with the fan club. Is there something going on with the fan club?
It's probably the same as it's always been. I mean, I'm not sure what he's talking about, whether it's quite a... there's a lot of things. There's a merchandising end of it. There's a fan club, so I'm not really sure specifically what he's referring to, but I don't really think much has changed, to be honest.
I'd conference him in, but I think I'd cut you off, and I don't want to take a chance on doing that. But anyway, so there's that going on. The tour is coming up. The record's in the stores. And anything else you want to tell us about? Website, any upcoming WASP things we should know about?
It's business as usual, same old, same old. I mean, we're going to go out, we're going to be big, we're going to be bombastic, we're going to be bloody, we're going to be nasty so far over the top you can't see. So, and if we didn't do it, wouldn't be WASP.
Absolutely, and everybody talks about the live show, and I was telling you earlier, so many people were just loved the last time you were here in the studio with us, and when you get to this area here on the East Coast, we'd love to have you back in and kick back and take some calls, maybe even guest host the show.
Yeah, well, I love it there, I mean, and hey, it's where I was reared, so it's like, Staten Island boy, so it's like it's always fun to go back home.
And is that where all that religion got you in Staten Island?
Yeah, that's where the genesis of it was, pardon the pun.
Yeah, right. Well, Blackie, thanks for checking in tonight. I appreciate it, and we want to remind everybody the new CD is out right now. It is Unholy Terror from WASP, and it's in the record stores. And you can pick it up and look for WASP to be coming around. I guess sometime summertime, end of summer?
Probably mid to late July.
Okay, good. And we'll get you in here soon when you get here on the East Coast and get into New York. We look forward to it. We had a great time last time.
I can't wait.
All right, Blackie, thanks for calling. What do you want to go out with? Give me a track.
Probably the other track that's really getting people is Charisma,
which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. I'm trying to read the writing on the back.
I think it's the fifth track on the record.
Yep, you are right. The man knows his record. Track 5, Charisma. This is brand new WASP. Blackie, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.